Hey guys, Radio here, and I was going to do a quick run through of how to play Scout. So basically I've got some gameplay here. I was just going to talk you through it. Using the Force of Nature as my primary weapon. Great for gaining ground on the enemy, especially from above. Using the Bonk Atomic Punch, getting away from enemies, especially on fire, I find is useful. And I pretty much in the first few seconds I've just flanked the enemy and taking some shots off, making sure there's always a supply of health nearby. And yeah, you can see me shooting at the enemy, just picking off who I can. And when I come across this demo man, I think it's probably safer to run off, seeming as the Scout is not the best suited class for combat in a smaller area, so I managed to get away from the fight. I hear this soldier coming up behind me, but again, the Scout is not used for fighting against more than 2 enemies, I'd say. So whenever I find myself outnumbered, I will usually try and find a safe spot to regain health and ammo. The Pyro is really suited, not the Pyro, the Scout. It's confusing because there's a Pyro there. The Scout is mainly suited to hit and run tactics, which is why I like to use him for defense. You know, getting behind the enemy, generally picking off who you can, especially when they're alone. That's the Scout's main advantage. Always making sure that when I'm up against an enemy who knows I'm there, trying to make sure that I keep moving and stay out of the line of fire. So again, using my Bonk Atomic Punch to get away from this Pyro's flames, and I always find it good to try and use the health nearby, even if it's unnecessary, just to make it harder for the enemy team to regain health in a battle. And here I am covered in Jarate, so I've got to be really careful here that I don't get shot too much. And here's where I make a mistake of getting surrounded by 3 enemies there, so that's what I was trying to avoid earlier by saying I try to stay around even numbers. Don't want to get outnumbered or surrounded as a Scout, because you do have very low health. Just there, getting surrounded, using the Bonk Atomic Punch to get away, always useful. And using this getaway to regain a little bit of health and ammo. And again, flanking the enemy, missing terribly, and basically trying to pick off who I can before getting surrounded again. And there I did another common mistake, which is focusing too much on that soldier and not noticing the mines being set up next to me. That's a common error that I should have really avoided. And I think I'm going to make that mistake later on in this video, so we'll see. Again, using the Force of Nature as like a third jump, and here I am in a one-on-one where I just keep moving until I can kill him, because the Scout is just so difficult to hit for demo men and other classes like that, like the soldier. And again, that's when I fall for the trick again, focusing on the enemies and not noticing the mines being placed beneath my feet. So here we go again, see where I go. Mines there, managed to luckily avoid them and then choose a really bad place to use the bonk, but it works. It was quite out in the open, but luckily no one hit me, so gaining my health and ammo. It's always useful to know where the health and ammo is in a map, just so that you can get there as quickly as possible when you're low. And yeah, I just there with the sniper and his machete, when you come up against an enemy with a melee weapon, it's always best to like try and keep a few meters between you two, because the melee weapons can sometimes have a really surprising range. So I always try to stay as far away as possible from those melee weapons. I get quite lucky here, killing 2 enemies who are on low health. And then I have to retreat here, I think, because I cannot take on that soldier in such an enclosed space. The bonk is usually quite useful here against sentries to sort of use up some of the sentry's ammo and to avoid it hitting teammates if you just sort of distract it while it shoots you. And it was a mini sentry, but it works with all level sentries. Here, find a teleporter, always good to get that, because that could give the blue team a really good advantage. And yeah, always double checking that I have access to my secondary weapon by pressing Q. I'm always double checking that if I press Q I will get the weapon I'm hoping for, or that I'm wanting. So yeah, check always. I'm quite paranoid with that kind of thing. Keep checking, switching between weapons, making sure I have it at the ready. And see, in that situation I just had to run away because he just would have killed me, that soldier, with all his teammates next to him. So again, killing engineer, which is quite useful for the team. And I stupidly let myself get cornered again, not checking my back, letting that pyro sneak up on me. And that mini sentry would have killed me. Well, did kill me, and the pyro would have if it hadn't, because I just would have died in that situation anyway, once I was on fire. So always killing the mini sentry as soon as possible, because it can give the team an advantage. You know, some of your teammates who aren't so confident with it will try and run away, and that will give the player space. So yeah, thanks guys, and please subscribe for more.